Welcome back, friends. Thank you for being patient during these long breaks. We've got our third game of the day for our EU Starladder coverage. Navi versus KPG. I'm Zyori, joined once again by Blaze. What's the good word coming into our third game of the day, my friend from afar?
Well, it's been an interesting day so far. We have a kind of uphill battle for Compass Gaming here. They have not been looking very good so far in the games we've seen, and now they are up against one of the more dominant teams in this tournament. Native Sincere, Navi, even with a roster shift, they look strong as hell, and it is. I would not want to be in Gorik's position right now, having to draft against FNG.
No, nor I. And that's a good thing to point out. It is FNG drafting for old Navi there, and Compass Gaming have Gorik drafting. And, well, they're taking their time, and now they know what they want. Whoa. First pick, Shadow Shaman from Compass. Interesting. Not a bad hero, but look at all those scary devils that got left in the pool there, Blaze. Lycan and Batrider. First two picks for Navi.
It's so hard to ban against this team. I mean, Funix Batrider is absolutely insane, and with it, they can couple Havos Lycan or Havos Centaur. They can go for a couple different strats there. The Skyroth Mage, which actually got banned out by FNG, could be used in the hands of Dendi or Vanscore, but since they didn't have the first pick, they're like, okay, we'll let you pick up something different. And in this case here, it's going to be the Rasta. Not sure it cuts it in this situation.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that assessment there, my friend. A couple of options still remaining. There's the Faceless Void, the Doombringer, the Razor, three big daddies that have made it through that they may want to consider. But the Shadow Shaman, he has been a highly sought-after support, but very first pick. There are few teams really prioritizing him that high unless there's some sort of a dire side niche strat you're going for, all-in push, maybe working the Roshan a little bit. But they've kind of drafted themselves into a little bit of a corner, and whoa, daddy, they grabbed the Disruptor. So a lot of those big daddies still in the pool.
Yeah, they definitely drafted themselves in a corner because up against the Batrider, Shadow Shaman isn't really the best support. You're looking for somebody to respond to the lasso. You've got Venge with Swap, Shadow Demon with Disruption, Disruptor with Glimpse, and there's one more I can't think. Oh, yeah, Wisp with the Tether Relocate. Disruptor is okay, but the Glimpse is still a delayed mechanic as far as breaking that. You'll still get half the benefit from it, and Batrider won't be put in a dangerous position like you would with Swap. So in this, Shadow Shaman Disruptor isn't really a perfect combo of supports in any case. They have different goals in mind. They do still both have push mentalities when it comes to the later levels because Disruptor gets to punish anybody that tries to TP to the tower to defend, and Shadow Shaman, of course, drops down the wards to actually obliterate it.
Yeah, and well, third and fourth bans come by very quickly, and the Dire bans look a little more straightforward. Razor and Mirana, two very potent heroes, and Compass will ban out the Earthshaker and the Dazzle of all supports. The Earthshaker we've seen some. The Dazzle I'm rather surprised to see him banned out with so many scary heroes left in the pool.
Yeah, they seem to be a little bit at a loss at this point in time. The Dazzle works well with Lycan for heal bombs, so you get the wolves as extra units there to do lots of damage, but not really the most threatening thing. Not one that can break shackles. Hell, they got two heroes that actually counteract Dazzle pretty well because he can't stun Shadow Shaman early and he gets screwed over by silence, including Dooms. So it doesn't seem warranted, but you know, at this point, it doesn't seem like there's a good ban to be put on the field. There doesn't seem like an easy way out for them.
Yeah, Navi did pick up that Venomancer very quickly, and all right, Navi doing things a little differently here as well. Leshrac, their fourth pick, and we talked about this yesterday, Blaze. We got to see Dread play a Lesh. And
That's art style, actually.
Oh, art style, pardon me. Dread's team, right team, wrong player. And we're both talking about how we fantasize in our deepest dreams of a Leshrac that dominates a game when he can prove his power, and we just haven't seen it. Maybe this will be such a game. But Navi don't have a lot of setup. We almost exclusively see Leshrac paired with someone that has a sure stun, whether it's a Bane, whether it's a Vengeful Spirit, a Shadow Demon, something to make those split earths easy, and Navi don't really have that. So that makes me wonder, maybe we'll see a Lightning Storm Lesh build, or we'll see a final pick here that'll make it all come together. Still hard to say whether that Veno will be a core or a support.
Yeah. The Venomous Scale does set up the split earth pretty well, but I don't think this Venomancer is going to be support. I would assume it's going to be a solo mid Venomancer and a safe lane Lycan, but they can flip-flop that if they feel the Lycan would be better suited with more experience and getting those wolves a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Not as common for Havos to run it that way, but even still, it's seen by many teams throughout the current
10
metagame.
seconds
So there's a lot
remaining.
of potential for that as well. Leshrac is a hero that
5
could
seconds
potentially be a
remaining.
core as well. You can't count it out, but for the most part, you're just gonna
Stop
mostly
telling
consider.
jokes, Blaze. Joke hour was hours ago.
But probably they'll just couple it with like Shadow Demon and go Shadow Demon, Leshrac, like, and go the Venomancer in the mid and Batrider in the off lane.
Yeah, that seems to make the most sense. Compass take a different angle on it. I think they're assuming it'll be a support Veno. They ban out Puck, which isn't a bad choice if it is indeed a support Veno, but I agree with you. I have a good feeling it'll be a core, but we'll see. Navi will think about it, consider their options, and burn some of that luxury reserve time that they've got left. Now, Compass did pick up Slark with this this fourth pick here, and not a bad hero, rather elusive. Can try to lock down that Lycan with the tether if he's going ham in big woofy form. So not a bad carry for him here. Gives him some nice damage in the early to mid game as well.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing they've going for them. You can dispel the lasso pretty well with Dark Pact, and you can just stay on top of that Lycan all day long. So I really do like the Slark here. I think that was an absolutely incredible pick, but they're still going to have their work cut out for them getting him farmed up. Arte, he's done pretty well as far as the #1 position carries go. Like he gets a lot of momentum behind him, but we'll actually see if he can
Is
make
it actually
something of it.
pronounced Arte, or are you
I have
just
no
taking
idea, man.
liberty
I'm just
there? Okay. You're gonna
I'm
say.
just winging
I've been
it there.
saying Artez. I don't know if it's French. I don't know what the root of that word is, but you can call him Artie.
That works. That works for me.
Yeah. So we shall see. Navi really thinking about this final pick. Maybe it'll be a Bloodseeker to counter the Slark. That could be fun. Nope, it'll be a Witch Doctor. Whoa, daddy. Okay, so it is
Radiant team
either a
pick.
core Veno or a core Lesh. The Veno makes the most sense, but interesting way for Navi to finish off this draft.
Yeah, I think the Witch Doctor is really good, though. The Voodoo Restoration heals Lycan's Wolves up so they can take a third tower shot instead of just the 2 early. And then they also are enabling a combo of Venomancer's Ultimate plus the Malediction, which is just absolutely absurd as far as its potential magical damage
10
output. So
seconds remaining.
I like both of those. As far as ways to interrupt the Death
5
Ward, there are
seconds
actually quite a
remaining.
few, but with some really good positioning, maybe we'll see a couple fly.
Yeah, this is just some scary pushing
Reserve
power from
time.
Navi.
5
Lesh, Veno,
seconds
Lycan, all with very obvious pushing synergies. But you talked about the Voodoo Restoration from Witch Doctor. It's damn good in pushing lineups. Rather reminiscent of the Juggernaut Healing Ward. It just gives you so much sustainability.
Whoa.
And
Are they gonna? I don't think they're swapping this. I think it's gonna be Havost on Leshrac, and Dendy's gonna take the mid Lycan.
Havos Leshrac? Oh my gosh. You know what they say? Sometimes dreams really do come true. Wow. I've been waiting for this day since I got hired at Beyond the Summit. This is history in the making. Position 1 Leshrac. Let's fingers cross here that they don't swap it out. But, Blaze, let's go ahead and get into theory crafting. Farming Lesh. What can we expect here? The pros, the cons, the in-the-middles. What's farming Lesh all about?
It's similar to the way Death Prophet plays in the sense that you have to stay in the fight as long as possible and just do some crazy damage. You need HP, you need mana, and you just need to be active. If you can get your
10
Pulse Nova
seconds
to hit on
remaining.
multiple heroes for a good 8 to 10 seconds throughout the fight,
5
you
seconds
have
remaining.
by and large earned your position there. You might see a Blink Dagger early for some utility movement, but otherwise you're going to see raw tankiness. Things like Bloodstone, Aghanim Scepter.
How is the Ags
Heart.
upgrade on Lesh? I believe it just increases the damage. That's it, right?
Yeah, it is. It is kind of static in that sense, but it depends on. I think it's not an item that you just rush out. But if you have the groundwork from other items, if you are going a tank build with things like Heart of Tarask or Shivas or something else, then you could possibly just kind of give a little bit of extra oomph to extend your mid to late game. But I wouldn't say that it's a go-to item, but it definitely is something to be considered.
Okay, and BKB, an obvious pretty core item for Lesh. In this game, probably still worth it. They still have Doom to try and lock him down. A couple of right clicks from that Slark, but a lot of magic damage and disable that he'll probably want to mitigate. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Havost going for a decently timed BKB this game. But looking at this Navi lineup, I think Aggression is going to be the name of it. It will be a support Venomancer played by Vanscore. FNG will be on the support Witch Doctor as well. You mentioned Dendy Lycan, probably headed to the mid lane, and no surprise to see Funnick on his critically acclaimed Batrider. I feel like in Starladder Season 10 so far, we've seen Funnick play Batrider every single game we've seen Navi.
It's because they keep giving it to him. Like, this is his best hero by far, and there's absolutely no reason not to pick it if you have it available to you. Like, I would consider it almost first ban material. Like, that's it's absolutely insane what he can accomplish with this thing. And that, like I said, there are a lot of strats that they have that couple together with it. But the bottom line is, if he gets even an okay laning phase, then he's going to be able to just tear things apart when it comes down to initiating on the mid game. He's already going to get great gold momentum from the towers that are going to fall rapidly, the Diabolic Edict, and the Wolves really good at pushing down towers with the help of maybe some Plague Wards and the heal from Witch Doctor. So he's going to get a lot of incidental gold, and it only takes a little bit of time from there for him to actually get to blink.
Yes, that is a good point. Sorry, I had to tweet my excitement about Hvost on a carry lash. This is a rarity here, so you got to share the love on Twitter, Blaze. If there's one thing I've learned, people on Twitter are always happy to hear about things like this. 5-man smoke from Navi. They are off to the races as they head down to the bottom lane. They've got some wards in tow. They're ready for an invade, and KPG, similar idea. They'll move into their own jungle. They don't want any wards blocking these camps, and they'll be ready to contest. We could very well see a level 1 clash. Who's got the better level 1 here, Blaze?
It's a tough one, but I think that because of the Gale, they can stay on their targets better. Navi should be able to win a full trade-off. The Windrunner doesn't contribute enough unless she goes for an awkward skilling like a Shackle Shot onto 2. And yeah, if they should just be able to pick one person off quickly with Gale, but no matter the case, if it is a full like 5v5 bloodbath, Navi just has more tools.
Well, it looks like we may not see that level 1 skirmish after all. Navi holding the high ground. They'll get a ward down right here. Get a little bit of vision of that bottom rune and the entryway into the Radiant jungle. Oh, who's venturing nearby? It is Jet on the Wind Ranger. Looks like she is just headed to the mid lane, and she'll be okay for now. But they have a trap set, and they're hoping to catch somebody. Oh, PSM, he'll walk right into it. Oh, daddy, he's in trouble. It's a Shadow Shaman on the run. That's a Venomous Gale. He's got nowhere to go, and he will take a tumble. That's Hvost with the last hit. 409 gold go the way of the carry Leshrac.
So they get the ward placed up to kind of gain a little bit of control over this bottom respawn. And Invis Rune, are you kidding me? This is another free kill.
Uh-oh. And the Radiant have no vision. They put down one observer, and it's a lane ward here. We'll help them out once the creeps spawn, but in context of this invisibility rune, this will be potent. Already a clarity used on the Veno. Vanscore ready with his next Gale. And oh boy, this mid lane will find some trickery coming their way. Hvost will be off lane for now. It will be an aggro try once the supports are done, giving it to the Wind Ranger. And Jet with decent positioning here. They're pinging it out. They're just waiting for him to step forward and go for some last hits. And they'll try to make the jump, but it looks like they won't find the opening, and Vanscore will just slither his way back towards bottom.
Extremely passive play from Jet. Either he just has the best game sense of the worst possible scenario, or he really just is willing to play passive until the supports show up. Either way, Wind runs skilled first, and he is hiding back. A nice cast coming out, though, from the Witch Doctor, and the Lightning is going to hurt, too.
Wow, so we'll see Hvost even go for the Lightning Storm build here. I'm glad I mentioned it during the draft. More commonly, you'll see the Split Earth Edict build. That tends to be the standard, but Lightning Storm, if leveled up, can be pretty potent. And, of course, it did get buffed recently to now have that 75% half-second slow upon the lightning coming out, which does give you a little bit of extra utility. Pounce forward from Arte. He'll take a stun, and that could be his death wish. He gets hit by a Gale, now has no pounce to get away. That's another kill. Venomancer will pick it up. Goddamn, says, nice. God damn it, Slark. What are you doing? Now he gets hit by a Split Earth. PSR is there with the Shackle, but now he's going to get right-click down. Arte coming back in. The TP scroll coming in handy, and Navi will be forced to back out. But that's another kill going the way of our dire side, and this aggro try already in good shape.
Yeah, Hvost is going to be maxing Lightning here. It's really intense in the mana pool, but if they get Arcane Boots up, that's not that big of a deal. And it is absolutely insane in 3 versus 3. Probably one of the best 3v3 skills in the game.
Yeah, it certainly is. And as you mentioned, it's hard on the mana because it has such a short cooldown. It's very spammable, only 4 seconds. So once you get the sustainability for it, the damage output is simply ridiculous. Let's check in on the other lanes, though, before more kills come about. You mentioned Jet on the Wind Ranger, forced to skill Wind Run at level 1, puts her off to a slightly slow start, and Dendi getting a decent amount of farm, but it is a pretty even trade so far. FNG, all by himself here in the jungle, will get caught by the Shackles. Pounce should connect. Does have that level 1 Voodoo Restoration, doing a lot of healing right now, but they will bring him down. The Thunder Strike, just too much damage, and FNG will bite off more than he can chew as KPG get their first kill of the game.
Yep, but he intentionally gives it to the Disruptor there, keeping himself away from the Slark, and that means that he's still going to have some hard time finding farm here. Right now, he is at 5 CS, and he's probably not going to even break into double digits for another minute or two.
Yep. And let's look at this top lane here as, whoa, Funnick really pushing out Goric. Goric has found level 4 on this off-lane Doom, but Funnick is just having free run of the lane. He's the last hit leader by far, 19 CS on him, and almost level 5. This will be scary for KPG. You can expect Funnick to have a very early Blink Dagger here, and on top of that, a lot of experience. He'll be hitting level 6, just on par with these mid laners. So that is really the big lane tipping the scales right now in favor of Navi. Doom with only 7 last hits.
Yeah, Funnick. Oh, actually, we're gonna see some action, so we won't really be able to follow through on that. But
I said, God damn! He gets initiated on. There's the Gale. There's the Cask. A few more auto attacks, but he's stuck in the trees. They can't find him. The lightning flies through. Habos gets the kill. Now Slark is going in onto FNG, but the splitter to finish off the Shadow Shaman. It will be a 1-for-2 trade. Now they'll go in onto the Slark. They don't have the damage to bring him down. Still a great trade for Navi, and they'll be okay with conceding another death on their Witch Doctor if it means Habos can keep racking up the kills.
Up top, it's got a big duel between the two. One more right click required, one more right click delivered. The magic stick is not enough, and Funnick will find his solo kill, forcing Shadow Shaman to TP. All he's got is boots, and now he's essentially stranded here on the top lane. Not really in a point to contest the lane directly, and now Funnick's got his bottle. This Shadow Shaman is going to like die solo in like 10 seconds if Funnick even is able to close the distance at all. Luckily, the Doom TPs to reinforce it, but now bottom lane's screwed over because they are lacking a support.
Yeah. Exactly right. He now hits level 6. Lasso is available, but more importantly, Slark has no room to farm down here. He has 7 CS compared to the 19 of Lesh. Havost already at level 5. That's 3 points in Lightning Storm, and now has the Arcane Boots to go with his Basilius. He's ready to push. He's got the mana regeneration, and looks like we'll have a pause to consider our options here. Looks like Vanscore needs just a minute.
So we already see a lot of momentum going for Navi on the bottom lane in particular. The Arcane Boots up for Leshrac, able to spam out on every 55 seconds, essentially a free Lightning Storm. That's 200 damage on 2 or maybe even all 3 of the enemy heroes when he casts it out. So it's very hard to actually sustain under this tower until Slark finds his ultimate passive, and I think that's the point of pressure, is they're going to try to make sure that he doesn't get to that conveniently. In the meantime, like I said, Shadow Shaman, he's going to make a long way towards the mid lane and try to attempt something there. If that doesn't work out, he'll, of course, rotate down bottom, but a lot of time off the map.
Yeah, an unfortunate TP, as you mentioned, and ooh, we see a ping up top. Maybe Goric could find himself in a sticky situation. Nope, not quite yet. Shadow Shaman trying to figure out where he wants to go. Right now he's a Shadow Shaman without a home, and he will rotate towards the mid, checking out the top rune. Of course, won't find anything, and I don't even think he can gank the Lycan too easily if that's what he was interested in. Dendi is finding a decent amount of farm, about even with the Wind Ranger, but I think all things equal, that's good news for Navi. Look at this bottom tower already. Plague Ward's coming down. This bottom lane completely zoned out. It's a 2v3, and without their Shadow Shaman, there's no way they can contest this tower push. Maybe they can hope for a deny, but that's still a risky proposition. Wind Ranger comes down, misses the shackle. Goddamn, gets clipped by the Gale. Actually, no, I think it missed him, but Havost going deep, throws out the Lightning Storm. He really wants Goddamn. Havost goes way too far in. He'll fall, and so will the Witch Doctor. They end up picking up the kill on the Slark as he gets caught by some of that stray DOT damage. Vanscore might still be able to find a kill on the Disruptor. Nope, those are the stick charges, and now Vanscore falls. He wants to finish off the tower, but it's a 1-for-3 trade the other way. The TP from Jet proves successful, and now this tower will get denied. Beautifully handled by KPG, and that will quell some of the dire momentum. Already up top, they have their sights set on the Doom.
Yeah, we'll see if they can actually close the distance on it. Shapeshift available for Dendi, but he doesn't see the opening. Doom's playing very passively right now. Down on the bottom lane, I assume that as soon as the Shackle missed from Jet, that the Navi lineup would just bail out. That they had the perfect getaway tools. They had the Plague Wards that do the Poison Sting and so on. We actually see Doom taking some hits here, some slows, but yeah, it's going to be Dendi to try to body block him a little bit, and there's the lasso. Yeah,
Big Wolfie comes around the backside. Easy kill for Navi as the first lasso of the game yields a death on the offlane Doombringer. And we'll see a KPG pause this time, and this time they need 2 minutes. We'll see your 1 minute, Navi, and raise you to 2.
Just keep on doubling it up. When we get to the 8-minute pauses, it'll be a little rough on us. But for now, we do have plenty to talk about. Like that last fight down on bottom, they could have easily disengaged that, but they chose to commit to a 3 versus 4. And that shows a lot of confidence of the teammates, with how they can coordinate, how they can connect with their spells, and how well they've been doing in the game thus far. Unfortunately, it kind of bites them in the ass as they lose out on the tower. It gets denied. They lose on a lot of lives, and they just have to regroup up top. So up here, we do have the Plague Wards. No Edict still, but nevertheless, the Wolves, the Plague, it should be enough to easily take down this tower before KPG can rally their forces.
Yeah, and of course there is also a Basilius on the Leshrac, which does assist in the pushing quite a bit. So KPG, what are we looking at in terms of inventories here? Not too much really on either side of the coin, just initial boots coming out. We don't see the makings of any big farming tools. Doom may be thinking about a recovery Midas here when he can retreat into the jungle, but I don't think this is the game for it. I think KPG really need to focus on items that give them a benefit now. You know that Navi will continue to be aggressive and try and knock down these outer towers, and I think if they rush items like mech, get an early drums, maybe grab a bracer or two on their squishy supports, that will go a long way in trying to slow down the momentum that Navi is already picking up.
Yeah, it's rather incredible how shut down this Doom has been just by Funnick alone. Like, even before he joined Navi, I considered Funnick the best offlaner in the game. He was playing on Empire, and he was just trouncing people 1v1, finding kills where they shouldn't exist. But in this case, he's even outdone himself. Like, this Doom has died twice. He has 860 gold banked up, and he doesn't even have his level 6. This is over 6 minutes into the game for a 1v1 matchup. And he even got a TP support. Obviously, that didn't help him any, but at the same, it's just Funnick on this Bat Rider is something that you cannot, in a 3v1, you can't control him, and in a 1v1, you just can't stop him. He really is just outshining everything that he's done in the past and able to run over this lineup in full. So with this tower, he'll pretty much be at his Blink Dagger, and from there, heads will roll.
Yeah, and, you know, there was a while where Bat Rider was that first pick, first ban hero, and Funnick didn't get to play him all so often, but now that Bat Rider's been nerfed enough that he's become more of a niche pick that a lot of teams aren't scared of. We see in these best of ones, teams just aren't doing their homework. They seem to not understand the power of the Funnick Bat Rider, as we've seen it banned out so seldom. And here's just another game where he will punish his foes with the Wrath of Fire. Top tier 1 tower taking some pretty hefty damage here. There is no glyph available for KPG, so this will not be an easy defense to mount. The Plague Ward's doing a lot of work, and down she goes. They won't even go for a deny. Jet is inbound, but he will just back on out. He sees Dendi with a double damage rune, and he says, yeah, it's enough for me. I think I'm going to get out of here and prepare for the tier 2 defense. And Navi, will they continue pushing here? I'm not so sure that that's the right call.
Disruptor is level 5, going to get some damage onto Havos, and actually he's falling very quick.
The Doom on FNG, if they had doomed Havos, there would have been a kill. Havos could still easily go down, but they finish off the Doom. It costs Havos his life, and it ends up being a 1-for-1. And that's where it will end for now. Navi back out, looking to perhaps reinitiate. FNG gets doomed with the Voodoo Restoration on, and that's great news for him. Kind of bad news for the Doombringer.
Yeah, Havos keeps on committing to these fights really hard. Like, even then, he could have at least tried to walk back, pop his salve, and try to survive against the Wind Ranger or Power Shot. If he just dodged that, he would have been home free. But no, he wanted to keep just casting spells, dealing damage, and he likes the smell of blood.
Havos likes big numbers.
Yeah, that's true. Does skills, no matter the case. He'll keep it moving, and that keeps the game fun.
Yep, but we see the scariest part of this Navi arsenal. It's a 7.5-minute Blink Dagger on Funnick's Bat Rider. He went Brown Boots and Bottle here. The last time we saw the Tranquil Bottle in the last game and saw how much that can slow you down, but this is one fast Blink Dagger. Van score in the mid lane. It will be a 4-on-1, and Venomancer will get turned into a puddle on the ground there as they gang up on him. Pretty easy kill, but end of the day, it is just a support Veno. We'll see if KPG can try and transition this into perhaps a tier 1 tower push. Rasta still not quite level 6. Kind of a shame that he doesn't have wards to pressure this tower with.
Yep, so currently 3 Dire members at the top of the CS charts, but at the same time, it's the tower gold itself isn't enough for them to just guarantee the game. They definitely have to play smart. They have to avoid dying and giving up the lead that they've worked so hard for. At this point, Navi picking up like these kinds of heroes, especially the Lycan, infers the towers are going to be dropping quickly and you're going to have the gold advantage. But it's maintaining that lead and then pushing your advantage that really separates the wheat from the chaff, the men from the boys.
Yes, indeed. Looking at net worth, Navi with a pretty obvious lead here. The only one, whoops, sorry about that. The only one farming really well in the Radiant is out of the Wind Ranger. Jet was solo mid. He's found some decent farm. He is 2-0-3 as well, so he has been pretty active in these skirmishes, and that fight down bottom really boosted up his net worth. The rest of his team needs to play catch-up, though. 4,000 gold lead for Navi. Only a 500 experience lead, though, They will move into the Roche pit with Plague Wards, Wolves, and this Lesh. They should be able to take down Roche pretty easily. I don't see a medallion, so it won't go down super quick, but there is no vision for the Radiant here. They may infer that everyone's missing off the map. Dire side with Lycan. Roche is an option, but they don't have visual confirmation, and they won't be able to contest it. They are making movements towards the pit. They will smoke up, but it's just too little, too late.
Nope. The Vlad's essentially makes it like in a hero that can bring 80% of Roche's health down by himself. Adding in these heroes, they don't even take any damage. Havos will mana up Funnick. Now he has the lasso available, and anybody overstepping their bounds is going to be picked off. Now they've got the Aegis, and they can literally just deathball from here.
Yep. And Lesh, one of the best Aegis carriers. Very short cooldowns and huge utility on that mana, especially with the Pulse Nova. So no surprise to see it picked up by Havost. He has picked up the point booster now as well, starting to tank up and obviously moving into a Bloodstone. Tier 1 tower in the mid. Looks like it will fall. Uncontested for KPG. They'll go for a tower exchange as they drop wards on the Tier 1 down bottom lane. Navi have a couple of options here, but it looks like they will just press forward and try and take a Tier 2. Funnick in the tree line, ready to hop over, and he will grab Goddamn. Disruptor throws out the ultimate, finds a kill on the Witch Doctor, but it will cost him his life. Now the TP is coming in. Dendi gets caught by Shackles as well as the Doom. They'll lock him in place, but Funnick just laying in the damage. Havost turns on the ultimate. He's Pulse Novaing the entire team down. It's a triple kill for Funnick, but Havost doing the bulk of the damage. Arte on the run, pops the ultimate. That'll be enough to ensure his survival, but the power of the Lesh with a full mana pool going ham on KPG.
Yeah, absolutely absurd. He almost ran out there, but he had the Arcane Boots as well as a 15-charge Magic Wand to keep him rolling, and as long as they have that fuel behind them, the mana pool intact, they're just going to be able to take fight after fight after fight. Looks like they will have to fall back here most likely, clear out one more wave, and then they will take their leave.
Yes, sir. Havost hangs around, grabs a few stray last hits, and now he will book it back to safety. He's well on his way to a soul booster if that's what he's working on. I suppose he could be rushing the Ags. We kind of talked about it in the draft, and I think Bloodstone is really good on Lesh. There are a couple of heroes that really synergize well with that item, and Lesh is one of them.
Yeah, Bloodstone's extremely good, especially when you get it early with this much momentum behind it. You're going to get kills right after you pick it up, and that's going to give you pretty much an unlimited mana pool. Of course, Lesh is one that will test that theory pretty quickly because he loves to chew through it, but nevertheless, there's just so much mana to be had, and that just means more damage, more kills, more charges.
Yes, sir. Big rotation from KPG. All 5 heroes smoked up. They're headed towards the top lane, and it's just the lone Havost. He will TP out. And did they actually smoke? No, okay, those are Radiant wards. Yeah, this smoke will be rendered unsuccessful. Well, they can't find Ponyboy. All right. Navi will group up once more. Dendi close to a Necro Book, just a belt of strength away. FNG actually has power treads up already on that Witch Doctor. Now finds an invisibility rune. He did get locked down in the last fight, and that last fight was successful even without a Death Ward. FNG was silenced, stuck in the Static Storm kinetic field. And just imagine how much demolition will come out in this next skirmish if he can get a Death Ward channeled for even a partial duration.
The fact that Havost is working, or sorry, the Leshrac is working so well here makes me worry about a upcoming balance patch. If they already have their buffs and nerfs in mind, and they're like, oh, Leshrac isn't picked enough, he doesn't bring enough to the table, we'll buff him up, and then people look at this game and see how great the hero was before the buff, I could imagine him just like suddenly everybody's picking him every single game, and that would obviously be a pretty big shift, but
now, Blaze, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's a delicate line.
I know it's very exciting to see Lesh in the carry role, but I'm not so sure that Navi beating KPG will mean a shift in the meta where Lesh is first pick.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if there was a buff along with that, it would definitely give the meta a nudge in the right direction.
Okay, all right, I can get behind that. Tier 2 for Tier 2 exchange, but now Navi, they'll move to the high ground. Havost does not go for the soul booster, grabs a little regeneration with the Perseverance, and wow, this tower taking a lot of damage. He now has a point in Edict, helping in the push. No glyph available, and this Tier 3, all things equal, will take a lot of damage. Nice shackle, connects onto it. Funnick hops in, finds Goddamn, now he gets shackled, and there's the Static Storm, does a lot of damage. Mech comes out for the dire side. Havost takes the Doom, the perfect target to Doom here, but don't forget, he has the Aegis. He's coming right back up. Doom has fallen now. Finally, the Poison Nova comes out from Vanscore. Slark will leap to safety, and Ponyboy's back, and he's ready to go hard on the barracks. Shadow Shaman falls, will buy back, and now the barracks exposed will start to fall. Ranged, first to go down. Now they move into the melee racks. PSM trying to do what he can with those ether shots, but it's only so much. It just tickles. Navi have so much sustainability thanks to FNG just spamming the heal. They'll get caught in another shackle. Vanscore, he gets caught in the tether, but look at Havos just going hard. The Pulse Nova brings down the Slark. It's a buyback. Shadow Shaman even uses his wards here. Now they'll go on to Jet. Havos almost out of mana, but still going as deep as he can. Dendi in the front lines as well. The kinetic field zoning them out. Dendi will get caught in the tether, and he'll try to TP home. Not enough. Jet still falls around the backside as Funnick goes in. Now he's going in on the goddamn. Buybacks aplenty from the Radiant side. Some diebacks starting to come out as well. Funnick will chase down. Yes, he will. Finishes off the Disruptor. Goric and Arte on the back line. Is there a blink? Yes, there is. That's a dead Doom. Now a buyback from the Disruptor. They've burned 3 buybacks and still couldn't hold their racks. Now they just want recovery kills. TP forward. Funnick may fall. A few more stray auto attacks will bring him down. Shadow Shaman gets credit for the kill. FNG now trying to TP out. They don't have any way to interrupt him. And that's where that bout of chaos will end. Navi, what was that, a 2 for 8 exchange or something? I mean, that was just Navi won. Let me put it that way.
You lose count pretty quickly when you have 3 heroes on the Radiant side buying back, and most of them dying once again. I like the last death throws of Batrider there. Funnick tried to actually bottle FNG. He did, and he got a little bit more Voodoo Restoration to keep him almost alive, but I got the last hit, and then he did get glimpsed back as well. So, in general, just a great breach for Navi. It was pretty much set up for them by the Roche kill, but in this position, KPG, 3 buybacks down, lane of racks down. They just want any small victory they can get. They're going to try to head in for the tier 1 in the mid.
Yeah, they certainly will. This tier 1 tower will be defended, though. Navi ready to take yet another fight. Pavost at full health, full mana, and that's all he needs. Force staff forward from Funnick, looking for the lasso, can't connect, and there will be a kinetic field to slow them down, but the Death Ward flies as the cast connects. Static Storm will interrupt it. Rasta wards come down right in the middle of the fray as well. Funnick off to the side, grabs Goddamn, and he will burn to the fire. Vanscore connects with a pretty decent Poison Nova, but FNG will get locked down. Pavost doomed once again, and this time he's got Pulse Nova on, and that'll really eat into his mana pool. He can't toggle it off. Still has some mana to spare. It will be a 1 for 2. Goric trying to TP out. He'll be okay. Arte on the run. No ultimate available here, but they will not pursue. Meanwhile, on the base, Funnick's just having his own party here. He'll get a solo kill on the Wind Ranger, and that's where this fight will end. Navi once again finding the better of it.
So we've got huge kill momentum. We've got pretty much everything they need to steamroll through. They can invade the base at any point in time. Funnick's very confident about it, at least while the Disruptor's dead. And hell, Havos looks to be moving towards a Shadow Amulet if he feels like it. Like, at this point, there isn't anything that'll stop them. The Doom can't even get back to his fountain in time. The buyback, one of the 2 heroes that hasn't bought back yet. Why not? Jet will come back into it.
Yeah, I mean, Funnick just soloing people by, like, he soloed Jet, forced the buy, and then he just solos the Doom. Now Boast will get glimpsed into a kinetic field, eats his wand charges, he will fall. There's that Bloodstone heal, and he'll be coming back in just a couple of seconds with all those Bloodstone charges. And now they find the Slark. His Shadow Dance has already been used, pounces up to the high ground, and will survive. Navi not finding the exchange they were looking for, and they may be forced to back out here. They do considerable damage to the Tier 3 tower, and after all, this started out as a Tier 1 tower defense for Navi, so you can still consider it a victory on that front, I suppose. Pavost is already back, though. The Bloodstone doing a lot of work for him, and they're ready to just press into this tower once more. Glyph coming up in 20 seconds, but seems like it won't be up in time to keep this tower alive. Funnick off on the side, grabs the Slark. They should have the damage to bring him down. No, he'll pounce back to safety. Pavost, once again, the recipient of the Doom. That will zone out the Lesh, but he will survive. FNG healing him up right now. Voodoo, or pardon me, Death Ward on the high ground, enough to finish off the Doom. And now PSR on the run as Big Wolfie chasing him down. Looks like the Lycan Wolves will be enough to secure the kill. It's a double kill for Dendi. Tier 3 tower falls, and now the barracks are exposed, and they are slated to take a tumble. Glyph is up, and KPG could still try to make a hold. They won't even burn the Glyph for it. Shackle flies through, doesn't latch, and that will be a free lane of Rex. We could be moments from a GG here, Blaze. Navi with 2 lanes of Rex down in 18 minutes. That is bad news bears. Havost, uh-oh, he gets glimpsed back right into a pounce, and he'll just say, forget it. Suicide / wrists.
And back up in 10 seconds, because, you know, Bloodstone's a pretty good item. But, yeah, no, I think KPG are probably in a pretty bad state of mind. The Doom just got Mass Serpent warded by his own ally, for goodness sake. Like, when you get in that situation, you have to hold together just not to rage at one another and try to just realize you're up against an amazing team with amazing strategies and obviously a lot of skill behind them. So in the end, nobody too surprised at the state of affairs here. with the draft the way it went and with the early game. Now we do see a almost 15,000 gold advantage in favor of Navi and a 10k experience advantage as well.
Yep. They are going to check the Roche pit. It's into the RNG portion of the timer and reasonably fast respawn. Just about 50 seconds. Havost anticipating the respawn, hoping for a split earth there. Of course, won't find it, but just hanging out. Pony Boy's going to take a little snoozer here. And you mentioned that Shadow Amulet that he picked up. I wonder what he has in store for that. I guess Shadow Blade Lesh is pretty legit. Just turn on the ultimate, pop the Shadow Blade, and run in circles.
Oh, he's laying a team trap right here. Every 10 seconds, he can just invis an ally, and he can make the entire team invisible. I don't think they're impatient enough for that. Oh, he's telling them the Roche time, so they try to contest it. That is hilarious. They're trying to bait them into it.
Oh, my gosh. I like this. Navi getting cheeky. The trap has been set. Oh,
they really want this to work. You can tell. They're just like, oh, come on, please, please, please. Just break your smoke on us.
Oh. All right. We've got 4 heroes invisible. Roche is up. Yeah, I see it, Havost. I see him pinging it out. He's like, casters, look, please, please. Oh, boy. But no, their efforts will be thwarted as KPG don't go for the bait. Instead, Funnick will punish them as he hops forward, looking for a lasso onto Jet. Can't find it, and that will zone out the likes of KPG. And Navi will just move into the Roche pit. It was a noble effort, but unfortunately, they'll have to save that pocket strat for another day.
I just find a lot of amusement in that entire exchange there, because it just shows that they, like, not only are they having fun with the game, but, like, they're thinking of other ways just to make it even more amusing at this point. They get a lot of enjoyment, not just trouncing the opposition, but just really, you know, showing their work. This is their work of art. It's a video game called Dota 2, and they really just enjoy it through and through, you can tell.
That's for sure. Rasta wards come down in the top lane. Doom will try to TP out, but that's not happening. Flamebreak will interrupt it. Shadow Shaman gets destroyed by the Lycan. Dendy still with ultimate form on, chasing down Gorek, and well, he'll get walked right into a death ward. That's more than enough for a kill. Throws out the level death, but doesn't really matter all that much. Meanwhile, in the trees, Arte. He pops the ultimate. That'll buy him a little bit of time, but they'll chase him down. Funnick right there on top of him, blinks forward, and this should be a dead Slark. Down he goes. Little Murloc will get turned into some sushi. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jet pops the Wind Run. Doesn't save you from the wrath of the Pulse Nova, but it does save you from the slow speed of the Brown Boot Leshrac. So yeah. Wind Ranger will get a pass that time.
He actually went in with the Pulse Nova and the Shadow Blade active. That's so much fun. It's like Shadow Blade on Juggernaut. You do damage while they can't even see you coming. It's really amusing. But in this case, he only takes 80% of her HP, and she will be able to zip on out of there. So they are going to have to go for the death push now. Up on top, this should be pretty much the last legs of KPG, and we're going to be going into their last stand. They have pretty good defensive tools. I mean, we do have the Disruptor Static Field, or Static Storm, that does a lot of damage and utility, but with the Doom pickoff, there's pretty much nowhere to go from here.
Yep. Doom does actually have a buyback available here. Their buybacks are so damn cheap because they're all such low level. So it's more about the cooldowns. Wind Ranger is the only one with her stuck on cooldown, and Doom will say, forget it, I'm going to have to buy back anyway. Might as well do it sooner rather than later as the last outer tower falls. This will be the final hold for KPG. The boys will be separated from the men as this is their last lane of wrath. Oh, look at it go. Up on the high ground. They will put the Death Ward down. Chips away at the Doom. Dendy already pops the Wolf Form. Shackle flies through. Does not latch. Yules to set up onto Gorek. A nice flame break as he falls into a split earth. Havost going hard. Again, he is the Aegis carrier, so he'll be looking to take a tumble early on in this. Shadow Shaman falls off to the side. Arte, he has his ultimate pop, but Havost can still do damage to him through the ultimate. Jet standing on top of the fire will burn. And Arte trying to pull him out of the base. FNG, he wants it. Can he find it? It doesn't look like it. Slark will heal up, compliments of that ultimate, and goddamn! He makes it to the well, but not enough to ensure his survival. Funnick almost falls, uses the Yules, and there we have the GG well played. Stendy finished off the top lane of Rax, and Navi take a very convincing win. 33-14 in only 23 minutes of gameplay. The position 1 Leshrac proves successful in the hands of Havost.
Too OP, man. No. Yeah. But, yeah, no, it was a really good game and a really good draft. Obviously, they think the victory really was how well Batrider controlled the Doom. If the Doom actually had, like, let's say, in theory, won that matchup, then they could have actually had a really difficult time dealing with the Dooms, dealing with the amount of pressure that a hero like that can put out with momentum behind him. But in the end, not only did they at least put a lot of pressure down the bottom lane, but they absolutely dominated the solo lanes, and that's where they really pulled ahead.
Absolutely. I'm not sure that I can add much more value besides that. An interesting game, action-packed, nearly 50 kills in only 23 minutes. Those are the kind of games we've come to love and enjoy in the group stages of Starladder. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. I'm Zyori, joined remotely by Blaze at Zyori TV and at BlazeCasting on Twitter. If you're interested in following us, they're in the title of this broadcast right above. Of course, follow at Beyond the Summit as well. We'll have another long break as it's been nothing but quick games today, and I believe we have one more Navi match coming up. And yes, we do. It's Navi versus Team Cleave, another match where Navi are the heavy favorites, and we'll see what interesting strats they have in store. Remember, guys, the BTS Chroma campaign is coming to an end. Just about a day and a half left. We've hit the goal, so if you want one of those shirts, now is the time to order. They will not be available ever again. Limited time edition. This is it. So if you want one, you better pick it up. It's teespring.com/BTS Chroma. I'll be sure to drop a couple of links in chat just for you guys. Stay with us because we have one more game coming up for our Starladder EU coverage on this fine Saturday afternoon.